There we go. Colin in Ashmont, Alberta. It's Canada Day.
Hello.
Yeah, we even have a visitor from Alberta in the audience. Welcome. What's up?
Well, I understand from the screener that there are several callers from Alberta today.
Yes.
I wonder if it could be because we're having an election that's actually exciting.
I don't know.
Just gets everybody aware of public issues. And so, anyway, I don't have any insights into that. What I had called about was I work for a First Nation school, and we've had several suicides lately.
Mm.
Well, actually, the death in the winter was all the suicide because the student left the party and died of hypothermia.
Mm.
And the most recent one was clearly a suicide. And that was quite traumatic for the entire school. We all attended the funeral, and the one thing that I found somewhat troubling was the message that they give that now she is safe in the arms of Jesus, and and she can meet all her relatives and friends, and everything is better now.
Yeah, well, a lot of Christians believe if you take your own life, you don't go to heaven, right? And that's sort of a way for them to prevent you from offering yourself to go to this great reward, I guess. But yeah, this placation I think is rather creepy and sad. It's a kind of it's intended, I think, to be a comforting story or a comforting idea. But if you're not a believer, it's just, I don't know, it's just a promotion of the religion at the expense of some innocent.
Yes, that's the way I felt about it. I think at least part of it goes back to the residential schools and the which was in the case of the one in St. Paul. Blue Hills was a Roman Catholic school, and I've heard several of them talk about how the devil is pounded into them and to make them obey and that sort of thing.
So I guess you're concerned about indoctrination in this school. Is it a Christian school of some sort or a religious school?
Well, one was a Catholic school, but also we're talking about Canada.
Roman Catholic, but it's not officially so. Mm. The other thing is they do try to counter, I think, everything with their own culture and so forth. The one thing that they do is promote the language, which I see as a definite positive.
Yeah.
But they try to, the First Nations people are trying to say that they do not have a religion, that it's just culture. And I find that to be a bit of a equivocation.
Yeah, it sounds insulting.
But many of them are Roman Catholic, or actually the reserve is split sort of half Protestant, half Roman Catholic.
Yeah, so I don't have a lot of good information on this or the potential legal issues involved because, well, you're in Canada. And the laws there, particularly with church-state separation, are a little bit different than they are here, and I'm not up to speed. But I will say that even if let's say you were in a place where there's a state religion and there's all sorts of indoctrination and there's nothing you can do about it, because by and large, there's not much you can do about it anyway. Even if they weren't getting it at school, they're probably getting it at home from their parents. And so, as I've said, with regard to free speech, it applies to religious instruction as well. The solution to bad speech is better speech and more of it. And the solution to miseducation is better education and more of it. You could have a parent who raised their kid to think that left is right and right is left. But eventually, when those kids get out and interact with the real world, it may be difficult at first, but it's not outside the realm of possibility that they're going to rather quickly adjust and realize, oh, I was, misinformed. And so there's a bit of re-education that goes along, but we have to do that all the time. One of the things is that we're often, as atheists, eager to focus on specific religious things and be fearful that every religious teaching is some potentially massively harmful doctrinal indoctrination. And that may not be the case. I think I'd like to, when I didn't do magic professionally because I didn't want to do kid shows, and in part because I like to treat kids like they're adults. I talk to them pretty, apart from babies, I'll do the stuff that everybody does. But if you ask, like my niece and nephew, and don't do that because they don't want to talk to you. But if you were to ask them, I tend to treat them just like they're adults. I talk to them like they're real people, even if they're not. But they will be real people once they get in my phone book, the old Bill Hicks joke. But it's one of those things. That's why I didn't do that. Now, if religious teaching is patronizing, if it is treating them, and it does this to adults. We are the children of God. We are in need. We are sheep. We are in need of this instruction. And if instead you talk about factual information, you raise questions, you encourage people to ask questions, and you treat people as if they were thinking, rational human beings, a lot of the nonsense from religion just vanishes. And it's only a handful of really kind of pernicious doctrines that sneak in and stick there that for people's lives that make them terrified of things.
Mm-hmm. The one thing that's funny is a lot of them assume that I am an atheist, and that they equate the teachings of evolution, which I do as a science teacher, that is the same as being an atheist. And I have to explain to them that a lot of Christians...
The entire Catholic Church.
Yes.
The entire Catholic Church gives lip service to some perverted version of evolution. But it's close enough to...
They find that a little bit difficult to accept, but they listen.
Yeah.
And I've had at least one student expressed to me that she is coming to be an atheist herself.
Yeah.
And but I have to be a little careful.
Absolutely.
Yep.
The way I.
Yeah.
I think the area
definitely.
I think the area that I'd focus on, if I were you, and you're free to do whatever, is if there's been increased suicides and concerns about it. I think I'd be working with the schools to make sure that they get grief counselors, that they get proper counselors in to teach kids how to deal with anxiety and stress and depression and who they can talk to and set up safe places to take the actual rational steps that we hope are likely to curb these incidents of suicide amongst teenagers. Taking those steps, the positive steps,
absolutely,
rather than having to go after the religion stuff.
I fully agree with that. And unfortunately, with suicide, there tends to be copycats of that, and it sort of perpetuates itself, unfortunately. So this sort of thing that Matt's suggesting is very valuable. It's something you could do, and get counseling for these kids, or at least make it available to them. The ones that want to seek it out would be a very positive thing you could do.
Yeah, one of the traditional areas where religion, I think, has just been deplorable and doing a lot of harm is in the area of mental health issues, where for years, for millennia probably, they made pronouncements that, oh, these are demons, and so, now fortunately exorcisms are on the decline, but it doesn't mean that, if you're in church and you're experiencing things that are outside the realm of your pastor's expertise, if you are particularly things that are written in the Bible as abominations, if you're gay and this is causing you, depression and anxiety because you live in a society that's not welcoming of that and not willing to give you your rights, it's not outside the realm of reason that somebody's going to say, oh, well, your problem is just, you just want to sin. You may not say, well, the devil's possessed you, but you've fallen into sin. You've become, God's given you over to a reprobate mind, and it discourages people from getting the proper mental health treatment that they need. But
oh yes, definitely.
Well, I appreciate the call, Colin. Hopefully, we'll see fewer suicides and more reason and evidence-based treatment of people in the schools in your area.
Yes.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.